Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another video for the channel. On this occasion I bring you the full review of Cobblemon, the best Pokemon mod in all of Minecraft. Well, if you are a fan of these two, this mod will take the best of both worlds. An incredible experience for all its players. But before starting, two things. The first is that as always I remind you that you can subscribe and leave your like, since that helps me a lot to continue bringing you the content you like so much. And the second is a small recommendation. Well, we all know that this mod is enjoyable, much more in the company of your friends. But of course not. Any server would be able to support so much new content. For this, I recommend you do it on Olimpo Hosting, our powerful sponsor today.
¿Alguna vez habías querido jugar con tus amigos en un servidor de Minecraft, pero no sabías en cuál? Pues mira, Olimpo Hosting es una de tus mejores opciones, ya que no solamente contará con una excelente calidad-precio, sino que también tendrá una excelente atención al cliente, pues este contará con su propio Discord donde podrás preguntar cosas a los propios desarrolladores. Y por si fuera poco, Olimpo Hosting también cuenta con su propio servicio de instalación de mods y plugins, en caso de que no sepas cómo hacerlo. Pero si no te parece suficiente y te parece un poco caro, pues mira, usando el código PUERCO20 estarás pagando un 20% menos de descuento, para que así puedas jugar con tus amigos de una forma muchísimo más cómoda y sin perder todo tu dinero. Y ahora sí que sí, vayamos por el video.
Welcome to Cobblemon, an incredible mod where you will find almost all creatures from the Pokemon world, as well as its gameplay, but maximized with the open world, almost infinite that Minecraft offers you. So join me on this new adventure, where we will discover all the secrets it hides. This amazing mod. Well, first of all, at the beginning of a world, we will be able to choose our initial Pokemon by pressing the M key, having from the classic Kanto version up to Galar, but be careful. This mod will be updated as time goes by, adding new content such as tools, and of course, new Pokemon. Once our initial is chosen, we will be able to do different things. How to open your statistics menu with the M key. And here we are going to make a small emphasis. Well, everything will be exactly like the Pokemon games. So I will not explain anything about the subject of natures or abilities of the Pokemon themselves, unless of course they are necessary. Well, returning to the menu, we will have 3 tabs. The data movements and statistics. In data, they will give us basic information about our Pokemon, like its kind, the owner that we will be, its nature, behavior, and his ability. EH movements. We will be able to change their attacks if at any time we unlock any. In statistics, we will see the points in which our Pokemon stands out. This is something more for players, a little more advanced. As the next step, we will have the combat mechanics. For this, we will have to approach some other Pokemon and press the R key. By doing so, we will begin a fight. Pokemon where we will have all the classic options. How to fight and change another Pokemon from our team, capture our opponent, or escape from combat. If we fight against someone and manage to defeat him, we will increase the experience of our Pokemon. On some occasions, upon being defeated, they will leave some object that is related to them. But if it is us, those of us who are defeated in battle, our Pokemon will be weakened. Therefore, he will not be able to fight again. For this, we will have to wait a while for it to recover, or just cure it ourselves, with the help of a healing machine of this. We'll talk more later. Even if we find ourselves in the middle of a battle, and we need to move, we can do it with the R key. Make sure you win several battles. Well, this will make our Pokemon level up, and can evolve, as well as gaining new attacks. Good its defect. If you don't want to farm so many levels fighting, you can do it with rare candies. These can appear in dungeon chests. But of course you are not going to use them if the Pokemon is at low levels. Better do it when it is at high levels. And it costs more to raise them when fighting. But well, once we have gone at some levels, and our Pokemon has the evolution message, it will be time to do it. For this, we will have to return to the menu, hit the Evolve button, and confirm it on the right side. And since we're talking about leveling up, let's see how to change the attacks that we will unlock. We will go back to the menu. In the Movements tab, we will choose one that we want to change. And on the right side, we will have the whole set of movements that we have unlocked. And the best thing is that if we are not completely convinced, we can change them back to how they were. Another thing to take into account, these are the objects that we can equip. Obviously, this will depend on the statistics or circumstances of certain Pokemon, weather berries, or power-up items. For this, we must shift and right-click with any of these in hand and hit the Equip button. And to remove it again, we will have to do the same thing, but this time with an empty hand, as the following information to be able to change the Pokemon we want to throw. We can do them with the arrows up and below our keyboard. And if for some reason these options are going to bother you on the screen, you can hide them with the key or other action that we will have, but only with small Pokemons. We'll be able to load them. But once these grow up, you won't be able to do it anymore, and if you ask yourself what the other options will do, well, at least for now, they will not be activated. We will only be able to load. And the one to equip objects. Well, now that we have the basic principles. Now, let's talk about Pokeballs, the most important item in the entire mod. Well, with these, we will be able to capture our future Pokemon. And obviously, we will have all, or at least most of these. As you may already know, some will be better at certain times. Most of these will require Bone Guri berries. For its manufacture, we will have 7 variants that will grow throughout our world. To be able to obtain one of these berries, we will have to right-click on it once they are ripe. By doing so, we will have a small probability that he also leaves us one of his seeds to replant one of these trees. And once we have our first Pokeball, we will be ready to start capturing. As a curious and possibly quite obvious fact, depending on the biome, place, and even time of day, the Pokemon that will appear will be different. This is so that you take it into account. And above all, if you are looking for a specific Pokemon to be able to capture them, we will be able to throw the Pokeball directly, or take advantage in the middle of a battle when these are weakened. Now, I am obliged to comment on the following. And at least for now, the legendaries will not be there, fully implemented in the game. Well, yes, we can get them out using commands, but they will not appear naturally. There are some add-on mods for this, which will only allow some legendaries appear in structures. What is certain is that shiny Pokemon may appear, although hardly. Apart from these, we will also have other variants of Pokemon, which will be references to chapters of the anime, like some regional variants of Minecraft. And among all the Pokemon, the most obvious will be Torterra. Well, it will practically have a variant for each biome. I would like to show you each and every variant of Pokemon of this mod, but sadly, it is not possible, since there are too many. But don't worry. Well, in the description I will be leaving you a link with this part of the official wiki, so that you can know everything about the variant you want, specifically. And now to finish with the whole Pokemon topic. There will be one in particular that will be very different from the rest. This will be Gimmighoul's chest. If we capture him, it will be practically like a normal Pokemon, except that the only way to be able and evolve it will be through relic coins. Also, we will find them in special chests inside structures. To be able to evolve into Gimmighoul, we will have to feed it with coins. Exactly with 999. And once this is achieved, finally be able to evolve into Goldingo. And at least for now, this will be the only use these coins will have. As a next step, we will have the topic of new machines, tools, specials that will help us advance in the mod. First, we will have the healing machine. For this, we must find a reviver. These usually grow in leafy caves, but it is very difficult to find any. Fortunately, they can be cultivated. Once obtained, we will put it in an oven to get the healing powder. Then we mix it with a jar of honey to achieve revival. With which now, yes, putting it together with other objects, we will be able to get the healing machine. And this, as you can imagine, we will be able to heal our weakened Pokemon. The next machine will be the PC. In this, we can store all the Pokemon that we have captured, or even change parts of our equipment, putting Pokemon in and out. Remember this well, because this will be useful for the next machine, which will be the pasture block. A machine that will allow us to take out our Pokemon, stored so that they are not passed on to a PC, and can move freely. Then we will have the exhibitor, which, as its name says, it will allow us to display and store valuable objects. And now, I want you to pay close attention. Well, here we will have 3 machines that will form a single one. These will be the fossil analyzer, the data monitor, and the restoration tank. We should place them in the following way, and we'll have the function of reviving Pokemon fossils. First of all, we must place within any of these are fossils that we have found, and then fill the tank with organic material. Each item will have a different value. And really, there will be many objects that we can use here. Here I show you a photo of the objects we will be able to use. And when the Pokemon is fully ready, we can pick it up with a Pokeball. Fossils can be obtained in the new structures of our world, destroyed or ancient places, where there is suspicious sand or gravel. And depending on the type of structure, we will be able to obtain certain fossils. And since we're talking about fossils, let's continue with the topic of new minerals. Because yes, now apart from the classic minerals, we will be able to get some a little more valuable, such as evolutionary stones, are when equipping them on a Pokemon that cannot evolve on its own. Now, they will be able to do it. The greatest example of this case would be Eevee. That for each evolution will require a different stone. We will also have another new type of material, the pebbles of which we will have 3 variants. We will be able to find them very rarely in blocks of suspicious sand or gravel. The good news is that we can grow them, putting the fragment we just found in a block of magma. So, within 6 days, approximately, the crystal fragment will grow. If this breaks before time, it will only give you 1. But if you do it at its maximum stage, it will leave you 4. Okay, now let's talk about new constructions. Well, although they may not be anything out of this world, but to elaborate, yes, there will be many of these scattered around the world. In these we will find chests or suspicious sand, where we will find rare items from the mod, such as fossil gems and relic coins, and power-up items for Pokemon. Sadly, I can't show each one of them, because there really are too many. So I will also leave you another link of them, wiki with this part in the description, in case you want to check a specific object. And finally, a small recommendation, and this mod by itself feels somewhat incomplete. Well, although we will have a lot of new content, some things are missed, such as find coaches who will fight with us, gym structures, or even the legendary ones themselves. Well, the community itself got to work with a bunch of new mods of Cobblemon that will add all this new content and much more. If you would be interested in me bringing a video talking of the best accessories, or even a mod pack focused on this, you can leave it to me in the comments. But now tell me, what did you think of this mod? Do you think that currently, yes, it can be considered the best Pokemon mod? Or you can even tell me what your favorite Pokemon is. At least in my case, you would be Swampert, the 3rd generation water starter. I'll be reading in the comments. well guys, I hope you liked it. That they had fun. That's the most important thing for me. If you liked the video, I would ask you please, you will leave your like with comments. What did you think of this video? What other types of videos would you like to see on the channel? And also subscribe. That is very important. Remember that Vaporeon is compatible. And see you in the next video. Bye.